What's up everybody? Today we are going to do a little bit of some OEM accessory install, and before I begin I just want to go ahead and apologize. I'm a little sick still, so I just want to apologize for the way I sound. But behind me is my 2012 Acura TL. For those that don't know, that is my daily driver, and we're gonna spice it up a little bit today, and we're gonna add some OEM accessories. So let me just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so here is my 2012 Acura TL. We are in my garage today. It's pretty cold out. It's actually supposed to start snowing very soon, but here is what I'm talking about. So this is the OEM like spoiler kit, lip kit, Aspec kit, whatever you want to call it. Honda and Acura fans will know it as Aspec. I don't think it was actually called Aspec for this generation of TL, but I went ahead and ordered the front bumper pieces, side skirts, and back there is the rear bumper pieces. So this is going to be a little bit of a how-to install guide, and we're just going to show you a before and after of the car. So don't get me wrong, I love the way this car looks, but as of right now it kind of just looks plain Jane, and it kind of just blends in with every other TL on the road. So to add some, flair to it, if you want to say, or to make it pop, stand out a little bit differently, we're going to add the Aspec kit on it. So let's just jump right into it. So before we begin, I just briefly want to go over the instructions, and I'm going to be doing this install a little bit differently than what Acura wants you to do it, or the way Acura wants you to do it. If you take a look at the instructions here, this is just your first page, and they tell you, all your supplies and tools, what you should have from the kit. And then if you come back here, you're going to have to remove the front bumper, by the way, and rear bumper. But if we come here to this page, right here, step 10. This is where things get a little fishy, I guess. I'm going to ignore this and do my own thing and work around this. So when you remove the front and rear bumpers, they will have what Honda and Acura refers to as scribe marks on the back of them. And basically what they are is just little cross hatches to show you where to drill. Now, they want you to drill through the front and rear bumpers to attach these spoiler pieces. I'm not doing that. I don't want to drill through my bumper just for the sake that I plan on keeping this car forever, but if there's a time where I ever need to remove this package for whatever reason, I don't want there to be holes through my bumper covers. So I'm going to go ahead and ignore this. There's other ways you can work around this. These pieces do have double-sided tape on them. What I'm going to do is add more double-sided tape, and there's actually zip ties on the pieces themselves, which I'll show you in the next clip here. But I'm probably going to either cut them off or fold them down out of the way, just because, like I said, I'm not going to drill through my bumper. They actually want you to drill 3 holes through the front and then 1 going up underneath. I might do that one because you're not going to be able to see that one. It's going to be under the car. But for the rest of it, I am not going to drill through my bumper, and I'll show you how these get installed right now. Okay, so like I was mentioning, they want you to drill through the bumpers to attach these pieces. So just for an example, let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the driver's side front piece that goes over the front bumper, and if I flip it over, you'll see we have the double-sided tape, and then if you look closely, I know it's kind of hard to see because everything's black, there are little zip ties that are attached to these pieces. So when you drill through the bumper, there's little clips that go over this, and that is what holds it to your front bumper. And there's also a little thing down here for a screw. Like I said, your double-sided tape. I'll probably go ahead and add some more in here, maybe in the crevices and stuff like that. Down here, maybe. I have to see where it all attaches. So like I said, I'm not going to drill through my bumper just because I don't want 3 holes in it if I were to ever take this kit off. Now, I've spoken with other people that have gone the same route I'm going, and they've just folded these down, and the double-sided tape seems to work just fine. Oh, also, side note, you cannot wash the vehicle for, I believe, another 24 hours after this kit is installed, as you have to allow drying time for this double-sided tape to cure to your bumper cover. But yeah, so I'm not going to go ahead and drill through. So in total we have 4 pieces. I'm sorry, more than 4 pieces. We have 2 front pieces for your front bumper cover, the side skirts, which are pretty self-explanatory. Just remove the old ones, these clip back on. I might be able to get away with not removing the rear bumper just to put these on, since they're smaller pieces and not as complicated as the front ones, but we shall see. Okay, so I think we're gonna start with the side skirts because I think that'll be the easiest. Start with the easiest and then work your way to the hardest. So just to show you on these what has to come off, just to make things a little simpler instead of trying to show you on the car, we'll start with this one. Since this is the passenger side, and I'm not going to be able to film the driver's side because my garage is too small. But if you look here, this is the new one. So there's a bunch of little holes here. Why isn't it focusing? Okay. There's a bunch of little holes here, which are all the there are a bunch of screws in front of the wheel there. We're not focusing. There we go. That have to come off. There are a bunch of clips along the bottom of the side skirt underneath the car. There are 3 to be exact, and then coming to the front of the side skirt, there are going to be 2 more screws you have to take out. And then along the whole side of the side skirt, there are a bunch of clips. And from what it looks like, you have to slide the side skirt back and then pop it out to not destroy these clips. So hopefully they come out nicely because there's a lot of them. Okay, so I got the passenger side skirt off. You actually have to have the doors open to do this, and it took a little bit of wiggling, but they eventually do pop off. Now once you have everything off, you just want to go ahead and make sure all your white clips are still on the vehicle's rocker panel there. And it doesn't really help that everything's wet, so I'm sure it would come off a little bit nicer if it wasn't, but my car is all wet from the weather. So yeah, let's just go ahead and clean things up a little bit and we'll get the new one on. Alright, and there you have it. I'm sorry about the lighting again. One side skirt is on. It took a little bit of wiggling and figuring out how to get it on and a couple of swear words, but you'll get it on eventually. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'm not going to show that just simply because it's the same thing just on the driver's side, that's all. But I'll go ahead and do that and then we'll get moving on to the front and rear. Starting to look good already. Okay, so now that the side skirts are on, I'm going to start with the front bumper next. I'm going to try and do the rear bumper without removing it, but we'll see how that goes. So the next step is to remove the front bumper, which I'm going to go ahead and time lapse through now. So just so you can see here, there's a bunch of fasteners along the top of your grill here. I want you to take these plastic covers off just to show you where they are in case you want to do this. There's a bunch of fasteners underneath there. You can pause this video and just take a look at where all the fasteners are located. The instructions tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the front bumper off now. So go ahead and do that. covers off some notes real quick. So, some things you're gonna have to disconnect. If I can get my light to stay somewhere. There are two connectors, one for your turn signal bulb and your fog light that you have to disconnect. And if you come over here, there's also the ambient air temperature sensor that gets clipped to the front of the bumper, which I kind of broke the clip off, but not a big deal, just has to sit somewhere. So I'll fix that later. And then same thing over here, two more connectors for your lights. And you just pull the clips off carefully around your headlight and try not to scratch your fender, and that's it. And that bumper's pretty heavy too, so you kind of should have two people to do it, but there it is. Okay, so like I was mentioning earlier, those scribe marks that the instructions talk about, if you look here very closely, there's three, come on. There are three small marks. I'm trying to focus on my hand. One here, one there, and one there. Now granted, they're pretty small, so I can see if you wanted to drill through, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Oh, and the other one is kind of hard to see, but it's under here, where that lower one comes up and fastens in there. But like I said, not gonna do that. I'm gonna figure out another way I can attach this piece without drilling through. But if you did want to, you just drill through these marks that are already here. Honda and Acura conveniently left you some marks to make things a little easier. But yeah, so I'm kind of just figuring this out as I go. I'm kind of just mocking it up. But what I went ahead and did was made some modifications since I'm not going to be drilling through the bumper. I went ahead and folded these zip ties down, put tape over them, as well as this one. I even cut this one off and put a piece of foam on it so that it's not going to move around and scratch the surface of the bumper. Now, I probably could do the same with these, but just in case I ever want to take this off and sell it, these are folded down. This one's cut off. I think I'm going to actually go ahead and drill a hole for this one though, just to give it a little bit more support so it's not like waving around when it's on the car. Even though there is double-sided tape here, here, and here, I think it should be fine. And you do also have a spot for a bolt to go through over here, so I think it should be alright. But I'm gonna go ahead and play around with this and see if I can get this side on, just so I can figure out what I'm doing. Alright, so I went ahead and got this side on. Another tip I want to talk about, it definitely does help to have something to lay your bumper on and support it, because if you stand it up this way, it kind of flexes funny and this doesn't want to go on correctly. But this side is on. Like I said, I didn't use any of the zip ties that are on it. I didn't drill any holes. It just held with the double-sided tape. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Alright, so there you have it. The front bumper is done. Pieces are on. I'm going to go ahead and throw that back on. I'm not going to show that just because it's reverse with the way you took it off. And then we'll get moving on to the rear. And I'm going to see if I can do that one without having to remove the bumper. I think we can get away with it. Alright, everything's coming along very well. I know it's not easy to see in here. I have very limited space. I apologize. My garage isn't as big as I would like it to be, but just to show you, the front is on. Everything is good. It's holding up nicely without drilling through, just using the tape that comes with it. The car's dirty too, but yeah, everything's coming along nicely. This side skirt is on as well. I did that one off camera since it's the same thing. Holding up pretty good. Now we have the back to do. I just have to make a couple modifications to the panels since I'm not going to use the zip ties. Get the back prepped there. This one's going to be easy. I don't have to take the rear bumper off for this. I'm going to actually prep these two pieces here and wrap this thing up. And then hopefully I can get this outside and show you what it looks like before this snowstorm comes. If not, we'll have to wait till tomorrow, but that's okay. So let's get going prepping these panels. so what I went ahead and did here was I added a couple pieces of double-sided tape of my own. I don't know if it's actually going to work or not. I did it on the front as well, but if you look, my tape isn't really as thick as the tape that comes on these from Honda. And yes, it does say Honda right there. So I don't know if it's actually going to do any good, and I also put pieces of foam, like I mentioned, over where the zip ties were. I cut them all off just because I'm not going to use them. And you do also have this bottom piece here, like the front where a screw would go into. It has a little welded nut, and I put a piece here as well. These ones you really don't need to take the rear bumper off. I'll show you the instructions anyway, just in case you do want to take your rear bumper off. But literally, you'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. These literally you can just slap right on. So these are probably the easiest part to this whole installation. So just to show quick, here's a picture of the rear bumper, how they want you to take it off. You can go ahead and pause it if you want to look at the instructions. The rear bumper will also have the scribe marks in it too if you want to drill holes. It tells you to use a 3mm drill bit first and then work your way up to a 10, because 10 is going to be the final size that you need. So here is the picture of the fasteners on your rear bumper. You can go ahead and pause that if you want to take your rear bumper off. But like I said, you should be able to just slap these pieces on with the method I'm doing. Now, some of you might not approve of this method the way I'm doing it, but it's my car. I'm going to do it the way I want to. I know other people that have done it this way also, just because they don't want to drill through their bumpers. But let's go ahead and get that right rear piece on. I'm not going to be able to show the other side just because of the constraint and size of my space here. But I'll do the best I can to show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I already went ahead and prepped this area. I wiped it down with rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the pieces off the tape so we can go ahead and attach it. Well, everyone, it's all finally on and completed. Too bad I can't wash the car now. It's filthy. It doesn't really look like it, but it is. I'm just going to do a little bit of a walk around here. I know it's going to be hard to see on this side since there's not too much room. But everything's holding up pretty well for not drilling through the bumper. That one's on down there. It's hard to tell. But yeah, the installation is pretty simple. It's just kind of time consuming, and you just have to have the patience for it. But fairly easy to do. There's no side skirts, which I'll probably sell. But let's get outside and cut to a shot of it. It's gonna have to wait till tomorrow though, because it is snowing right now. But we will go outside and take a better look. And here is the moment you've been waiting for. Here is the reveal. So it's pretty cold out, and that's going to be the conclusion of this video. So I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope it's been helpful to anybody that wants to install this. So thank you all for watching. I'm still sick. I'm going to get out of this cold weather now, so see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.